Hi, in this video I will try to explain my last series because I haven't done the titles in my videos like I usually do. Personality types may act differently than they would usually act because personality disorders are negatively affecting their well-being, mental health and relationship with others. If you remember, my first video was about unhealthy ENFP. It's about a woman who is a narcissist experiencing mania. She woke up her kids in the middle of the night so they could clean the house together with her. Whole movie is about actress Joan Crawford, who I typed as an ENFP, and she actually was bipolar in real life. Unhealthy ISTJ video was a representation of a person with schizoid personality disorder, characterized by a lack of interest in social relationships, extreme secretiveness, emotional coldness, and apathy. When someone violates the personal space of people with this personality disorder, it suffocates them and they must free themselves to be independent again. This movie scenes shows that. People with this personality disorder tend to be happiest when in relationships in which their partner places few emotional or intimate demands on them. ISTJs with this personality disorder are most likely to avoid the process of communication by which one person reveals information about himself or herself to another. They prefer isolation. Unhealthy ESTJ and unhealthy ENTJ videos represent sadistic personality disorder along with compulsive features. People with this personality disorder are bossy supervisors, ready to judge, punish. They possess the right to be pitiless. They are obsessed with control. They are sublimated in the public interest to search out the rule breakers. People in these videos show pleasure while seeing others in discomfort or pain. They show cruel behavior and they use manipulation and fear to dominate others. In this video, INFP character has avoidant personality disorder. He feels inferior and inadequate, socially inept, personally unappealing, etc. He's isolated, anxious, and has fear of embarrassing himself in front of others. People with this disorder describe themselves as uneasy, anxious, lonely, and unwanted. They fantasize about accepting and affectionate relationships due to their desire to belong. Unhealthy INTJ video caused some controversy because some people consider Mark Zuckerberg as an INTP. I don't think he's an INTP. I typed him as an INTJ. INTJs can have narcissistic tendencies, which INTPs, in my opinion, don't have. This movie character and Mark Zuckerberg as well are showing some serious narcissistic traits, in my opinion. In these scenes, we can see some of criterion for diagnosis narcissism.
Yes.
Mr. Zuckerberg, I'm in charge of security for all computers on the Harvard network, and I can assure you of its sophistication. In fact, it was that level of sophistication that led us to you in less than 4 hours.
4 hours?
Yes, sir.
That would be impressive, except if you had known what you were looking for, you would have seen it written on my dorm room window. You have part of my attention. You have the minimum amount. The rest of my attention is back at the offices of Facebook, where my colleagues and I are doing things that no one in this room, including and especially your clients, are intellectually or creatively capable of doing.
Showing arrogant, haughty behavior or attitudes. He clearly feels himself to be above everyone else in intelligence and entitled to treat them with scorn. Contempt is the hallmark of this character, as we saw in these scenes. During the whole movie, we can see other criterion like is often envious of others or believes others are envious of him, is interpersonally exploitative, takes advantage of others to achieve his goals, has a sense of entitlement, has unreasonable expectations of especially favorable treatment or automatic compliance of his expectations. INFJ video caused even more controversy. I choose a movie about a prize-winning student heading off to Harvard, where she intends to study journalism and launch a career as a rock music critic. However, her fractured family situation, including an errant father and neurotic, hypercritical mother, has led to a struggle with depression. I personally believe that unhealthy INFJs are raised by narcissistic parents, especially moms. They were not allowed to feel or have problems. Parent was the only one who is allowed to have problems and feelings. Growing up like that can be very painful. Kids learn to repress their feelings and become anxious, depressed, tired, irritable, angry, codependent. They may feel extreme sadness, worthlessness, guilt, and toxic shame. Living like that long enough can cause that victim becomes the abuser. He or she may become depressed narcissist himself or herself, repeat the same mistakes with his or her kids, or even being attracted to another narcissist in the life who may fulfill his or her codependent tendency. ISTP, ENTP, ESTP video was a representation of an antisocial personality disorder. These types are most likely to be antisocial. It's a disorder characterized by violating the rights of others, a low moral sense, sometimes a history of crime, legal problems, or impulsive and aggressive behavior. Person with an antisocial personality disorder disregards the rights and feelings for others. Unhealthy ISTPs are most likely to be psychopaths, and unhealthy ENTPs and ESTPs are most likely to be sociopaths. Unhealthy ENFJs. Histrionic narcissist, 5 words: drama, seduction, attention-seeking, manipulation. Woman in that video had a mask of innocence. She is behaving like she's not doing anything wrong. She doesn't care how uncomfortable he feels. She continues with her game. Her lies are too obvious. She uses narcissistic gaslighting. That is a form of psychological manipulation that seeks to sow seeds of doubt in a targeted individual or a group, making them questioning their own sanity, memory, and perception. Using persistent denial, misdirection, contradiction, and lying, it attempts to destabilize the victim and delegitimize the victim's beliefs. Unhealthy INTP video. Robert De Niro's performance as Travis in movie Taxi Driver is pretty much the classic fictional representation of a person with schizotypal personality disorder. This character was elaborating irrelevant ideas. He's not comfortable with others and he avoids personal relationships. He's a God's lonely man. Of course, we have to remember that he also was a war veteran in Vietnam War, so he may have PTSD as well. I think that may be the reason most of you perceived him as an ISTP. I think this person from a comment section explained pretty much everything I think about this video too, and he's an INTP himself, so you may check his comments. I believe he made a good point out there. Unhealthy ESFP video. ESFPs are repressing their introverted intuition, which means they sometimes experience paranoid thoughts which they are convinced are true. When an ESFP is unhealthy, this may be extreme. They may live in suspicion and mistrust. They may believe that others are always out to get them. Unhealthy ESFJ video represent unhealthy narcissistic ESFJ who has hard time to let her daughter go away from her. These types of people are most likely to call you multiple times a day to control you, and if you are ignoring them, they will make sure you feel guilty. With this type of people, it's very hard to make a healthy separation. Unhealthy ISFJ video represent a woman who is not independent, who wants to be taken care of. She is afraid of being abandoned or separated from important figure in her life. Despite the fact he is obviously cheating on her, she's making him a dinner because he said he wants a dinner. She is a clingy person. She has a problem to talk directly with him, so she expressed her anger by throwing stuff around the house. Unhealthy ISFP is extremely passive, childish, low self-confident, and usually prone to substance abuse. He or she may behave something like a plant and just enjoy physical, material things like food, alcohol, etc. They may have serious problems with avoidance and dependency. Thank you for watching this video and thank you for watching this series. I'm sorry for my bad English as always. I love you all. Have a nice day. Bye.